Let me go to Bill O'Reilly. Hello, Bill. I wanted to start with this because I know that your column is about another epidemic that you say nobody's really paying attention to.
Yeah, and there's a correlation to the rise of drug addiction in the hard drug arena to the massive amount of internet addiction we're seeing not only in the United States but the world. There's a correlation to it. And it's a very complicated issue, as you know, Beck. By the way, I appreciate you guys labeling me Father Christmas because, as you know, I saved Christmas for the United States of America.
Yes,
Maybe
I know you did. And you've got rosy cheeks and it's you just
and
look
no
like
spin elves on BillO'Reilly.com working around the clock.
That's right. All right.
But now back to addiction. So it's a very complicated situation because you are dealing with individuals who make a decision, and the decision is I'm going to take hard drugs for recreational purposes. You know, there are people who get addicted because of medical reasons, but not that many. All right, and I'm going to do it despite knowing I might die and I might become addicted and destroy my family, but I'm going to do it anyway. So you're starting with a person who's troubled, because rational people, they don't make that decision. And therefore, all of this pie in the sky about, well, all we need is more money for rehab and the government's fault because they don't provide whatever to these people. I mean, it's just a lie. The second thing is the society itself, with the legalization of marijuana and the basic glorification of drug use in the media, in Hollywood, sends a message to young and mature people that, you know what, it's cool. It's cool. Look at Snoop Dogg. Look, it's cool to do it. All right? And, you know, getting intoxicated when you're 14, that's a good thing. You go right ahead and do it. Okay, so you have that massive wave of, inebriation is good. And if you do it, you'll be accepted and you'll be one of the cool kids. It's absolutely happening everywhere. All right, so this is like a wave that comes in. And the final piece to it is, and we're looking at it now, well, if you're a seller of fentanyl, you know, it's a nonviolent crime. Yeah, you might be handing people poison and they might die, but no, it's not that bad. You shouldn't really be spending a lot of time in prison. We need to rehab you. So all of this is why the CDC comes out with this, and by the way, more people died last year of drug overdoses than in the entire Vietnam War, by a lot. So there you go. There's the analysis across the board. It's pretty bleak.
Well, but there's also something else that you talk about, and that is the addiction to devices and the internet.
Yeah.
Now there is this actual term. What did you say it was? I heard about it just a couple of days ago, and then I read it in your column.
It's internet
disorder.
Addiction.
Yeah.
Disorder. So now there are rehab clinics, of course, capitalism. You're going to have for kids, mostly kids, ages 11, if you can imagine, to 23, 24, and it costs a fortune because insurance is not going to handle it, to go there and to try to, pry their iPhones out of their hands. But every parent and grandparent knows about the addiction, and there are plenty of adults addicted to it, too. They don't pay attention to their kids. They don't pay attention to their pets. I mean, nobody talks about that, but pets used to be, brought in and you pay attention to them and you walk them and you nurture them. And now the pet's looking at you, how come nobody's paying attention to me? Because everybody's texting or Snapchatting.
No, that's why.
I know.
That's why I got my dog an iPhone and an Instagram page.
I mean, that's a good move. Very good, Beck.
Yeah. All right, let's go into politics. Let's talk a little bit about Cohen and what happened yesterday. What you think it actually means, and then what you think it politically means.
Okay, I don't know. what it means, and no one else does either. Therefore, all the pundits who are telling you on television and in the newspaper op-ed pages that they do know are lying, Beck.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Hang on. Let's just go over what we do know. He came out and said that this is Cohen. He came out and he said,
I lied to some Congress people under oath about a Russian condominium project.
Okay. Now, he is already, not a credible person. He's never been credible in my book. Right. However, he made that claim. Then Trump, who has been saying the whole time, 14 times since he's been president, that we've had no business dealings at all over in Russia, nothing. Yesterday, he came out and he said he's weak and pathetic. Don't believe it. Then he came out later and said, yes. Okay, so I was trying to, of course I was. I'm a businessman. I was trying to build the Trump Tower, but there's nothing wrong with that, which is true, with an exception of the denials, but not under oath. We do understand, we think, this coming from Rudy Giuliani, that the president answered honestly in his deposition, so there's no... If Giuliani is telling the truth, there is no perjury trap here for him. So there doesn't look like there's anything that there was any laws broken. It's just about Trump lying about it.
But he didn't lie about it because he said quite clearly, I don't have any business with Russia. This was all pie in the sky. Maybe we could do it.
Oh,
might
Bill,
happen.
Don't cut that one. Are you really cutting that line?
I'm telling you in a court of law.
No. I'm not talking about court of law. I'm not talking about court of law because we don't. As far as I'm concerned,
Trump and his lawyers can say, as they have said, we didn't have any business dealings with Russia.
Correct. I'm not talking about the law because I don't think there's any laws broken here. I don't think there's any laws broken.
He's going to say, Beck, and you can disagree with it and disparage him if you want to, but he's going to say, I didn't have any business dealings with him. A conversation about maybe someday we'll build a condo in Moscow is not a business dealing.
He did sign a letter of intent.
He can say that, and you can't
but
say...
He signed a letter of intent. I mean, his intent was to do
I don't know about this letter.
Do business,
Where's
and he
the
formally
letter?
engaged them.
Who?
The letters, I mean, obviously, it's been reported on. If it comes out...
Yeah, I haven't seen any letter, and until I see the letter, I don't believe it.
Okay.
So if there is a letter...
And he did sign it.
Does it matter?
Yeah, that would matter, because if there's a letter of intent to build a condominium in Moscow, that's a business dealing. So that would matter.
Okay, so even if because see, this is interesting because I buy into the letter, and I don't think that
where was the letter reported?
I don't think it's going to.
Where did this come from?
Seen it in several places.
October
28th, 2015 was the date. It was the date of the third Republican presidential debate. And I think this is an interesting one, Bill, because it's one of those things everyone can throw out these accusations. This one should be provable. If they have the letter, they should be able to show it, right?
Yeah.
If they have the letter, it should be in the Mueller report when it comes out.
It would have been leaked a long time ago. If Cohen had a letter, and Cohen would be the guy.
Mm-hmm. But he was the guy just yesterday. Just yesterday came out and said, "Okay, yes, I did lie about this too."
So here's the thing. I don't really care. I get to the point on this when the facts are out, then we'll be able to comment on it. Yeah. I'm not holding the letter out as because I'm not talking about. I'm only talking about politics here.
Don't use the word lie and fall into the trap of all of the hate Trump media. Look, listen to Father Christmas. It's the season of joy.
You sit on a throne of lies.
The man lied. Don't use the word.
Well, this would be proof then. You are saying it would be proof if this letter existed and he signed it. It would be proof
of intent to build a condominium in Moscow. That is a business dealing.
Okay, so what does that mean then if that
It means
did
that he
exist to
misled
you.
people about what his contacts with Russia were. That's
so
what
then
it would
what?
mean.
I got it. So then what would that actually mean? Because it's not illegal.
No.
So
It's just that
so
his
is this going to
credibility-
change anything?
Well, unless
I don't
he
think
said
so.
that under oath in his deposition.
Right.
Right.
Then it would.
And
But
no,
if it didn't, it would just be another thing that the anti-Trump people could say the guy's not trustworthy. That's all.
Right. Okay, so now let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Because Stu and I were talking about this earlier. If you listen to what the president says, you have a good chance at one point or another during your day of getting pissed off. Okay? But if you don't listen to what he says, you just watch his actions, like on Russia. He's very strong against Russia. He has taken real sanctions to Russia that we have not seen before. When you watch his actions, they don't match the words because he's a guy like, this is the most beautiful sink ever built. And you're like, okay, it's a sink, man. You wash your hands in it. So you have to not look at his language, but when you actually listen to him, you have to defend it. And we're put into a role to where we have to somehow or another say it's okay that he said I had nothing to do with paying those girls off, and we know now that he did. If this happens with Russia, and there's a couple of other things that are like this, that
you have to
think
make a decision whether his policies override his personal behavior. It's the same thing with Bill Clinton.
And I think the American
Democrats
people
do the same thing with
Bill Clinton,
as the Republicans are doing with Trump.
Right. And I think everybody has already made their decision on that. Right?
I'm not sure, because if he wants to be reelected, he's got to win over about 7% more votes than he has now in the polls.
All right,
and
so
I think there are persuadable people depending on who runs against him.
All right, so let's pick it up there, and our conversation continues with Bill O'Reilly from BillO'Reilly.com.
Glenn Beck, Mercury. Glenn Beck.
We are so pleased to be at WFLA in Tampa. Tonight we're in Tampa. Tomorrow we're in Orlando, Florida. We would love to see you. Tickets are available. You just grab them online at glennbeck.com/tour. I am not leaving this city without Kojak's. I am
the barbecue
not
place, yeah.
leaving this city without the house
of ribs. This was your favorite place.
Oh
when
my
we lived
gosh,
here.
I love this place. I wanted to move into the house of ribs. It is so good.
Before we get back into the politics, can I ask Bill O'Reilly a question?
Yeah.
Bill, are you aware what happened with your Gettysburg Address bid the other day?
No, I'm not. I was waiting. What happened?
Patiently. Yeah.
Because you bid $20,000 for a copy of the Gettysburg Address.
Yeah.
And then there was an auction at the charity event, and it went back and forth, and you were outbid.
Right away. Pretty quickly,
unfortunately. For you. I would like to tell you that the person who outbid you was a blonde woman who was up in the front row. She seemed very nice. Her name was Tanya Beck.
You were beaten by my wife, Bill. By my wife.
Well, that's bidding on his own things.
What charity does it go to benefit?
That particular piece went to do the Abraham Lincoln Museum. But the entire event was my charity, Mercury One, which is
right. Well, if I had to lose to somebody, Tanya is a person that I would want to lose to. She's such a nice woman.
She is.
Well,
I don't know why she's with Glenn, but you're right.
Then it was me that you lost
Glenn
to. Then it was me.
Beck, Mercury.
You're listening to the Glenn Beck Program.
Florida, where we are performing tonight in concert. I believe, Stu, is you're going to try the cello tonight, are you not?
Yeah, I've never tried it before, but I think it looks pretty easy. I mean, your arm goes back and forth. That's basically the whole thing.
And I am on the electric guitar and electric piano, which I've never played either one of them.
And there's no electricity either. So it's gonna be...
Yeah, it's unplugged.
Yeah, it is unplugged.
So anyway, that's tonight and tomorrow. Tonight in Tampa, tomorrow in Orlando, glennbeck.com/tour. Bill O'Reilly is with us. Bill.
Wow, I wish I was down there. I would really like to see Stu play the cello. That would be exciting.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it. A lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah.
I know.
So,
and if you get the steel drum going, I mean, hey, can Father Christmas just get a quick plug in so we don't have to do it at the end?
Yeah, sure.
All right. The internet addiction is killing the book industry, all right, because people don't want to take the time to read a 300-page book when they can just text their brains out or Snapchat or whatever they're doing. If you look at the Amazon 100, top 100 books, there are actually 10 books, 10 in the top 100, real books. Killing the SS is actually the second best-selling book next to Michelle O in the country right now. It was first last Sunday. But The Wonky Donkey and Dragons Love Tacos are outselling me on Amazon, Beck, and it's an outrage.
Oh, Dragons Love Tacos sounds really good.
Dragons love tacos. I love tacos. We have a lot in common. I got a lot to
love tacos, all right? So the whole
How do you know
is
that?
Fraud.
You were the one saying, unless you have a confirmation of a lie, don't call it a lie.
Don't call it a lie.
How do you know dragons don't love tacos?
They don't love tacos.
How do you know that?
Dragons eat people. They don't eat. They don't eat tacos. But anyway, killing the SS.
That's an old charge on dragons.
Anybody who likes history will love Killing the SS for the holiday thing. And then BillO'Reilly.com premium memberships, Beck. You have one. Everyone should have one. So that's it. Father Christmas is done. Go right ahead.
All right. So let's talk about the G20 meeting. The president said yesterday, which I love the way he negotiates. He's got a twitchy eye, and everybody's like, I don't know, he just might frickin' do it. He said, I don't really even know if I want to make a deal with China because we're getting so much money from them now in this tariff war. But he does. But he is threatening all kinds of stuff. What do you think is going to happen with the G20? Any progress on the trade with China?
I think there'll be a breakthrough because China, and I have this on very good authority, is going to slap a tariff on Dragons Love Tacos. You're not going to be able to ship that book to China, and that's going to be the deal breaker, and Trump will give in, and then everything will be good. I have heard that this deal with China has already been made. And this is usually the way they do it. People should know this. They don't just show up to Buenos Aires, all right, and then they talk in a room and come out with a deal. That never happens. It's always
with
done
Gorbachev and Reagan
by minions or the Secretary of State or whatever, and then they have a framework. So they know now whether they're going to have a joint announcement on Saturday or Sunday, which I believe they'll have some kind of breakthrough. I do believe that will happen.
So will the trade war, because this is the one thing that I know President Trump really believes in. He believes that trade wars are good. He believes that tariffs are good. And a lot of people in his administration have been hoping that he's just using this as a negotiation tactic. So far with Canada and Mexico. No, well, he got his deal with Mexico, and then he never changed the tariff. So he will. He will. His Obrador's
coming in this weekend, and they will do that. But Trump is smart. He's not going to do it until Obrador gets in, the new president of Mexico, and he sees how he's going to handle a caravan. He sees how he's going to do a whole bunch of other things. So it's still there, but
When it comes to Mexico, I'm not in any hurry to lift it on Mexico because of the caravan. I want to see what they're doing.
Right. Because this guy's a socialist Obrador, and you got to see how crazy he's going to be.
All right. So, you think that we are going to solve this deal with China?
I don't know if you're going to solve it, but Trump is a deal maker. That's his whole life, makes deals, all right? And so he wants to put forth to the American people that he's tougher, smarter, and stronger than China. That's what he wants to do. Now, China, they're basically saying, we're not going to take a lot of garbage from Donald Trump, but our economy is listing. Word of the day, Stu, L-I-S-T-I-N-G, listing, all right? And it is. So we're going to have to do something to get investment back into China. That's what China wants. So both sides have big gains to be made if they can, be nice to each other. And that's what I think will happen.
Let's talk about Putin. Yesterday, President arrived. He was going to meet with Putin, and he said, "No, I've got to look at. I'm not happy that they haven't released the Ukrainian sailors yet.
Sailors, yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen with Putin and Ukraine?"
No idea. You never know with Putin. Putin's a different character than China. China has to deal with the United States. They have to. Because their economy is so fragile. It's 1.5 billion people, many of whom don't have electricity. They don't have a lot of choice. Putin can do whatever he wants. I mean, Putin's like Stalin in the sense that he runs that place. You don't like it, I'll put a bullet in your head. And so Putin, you can't predict what he's going to do. I think he's just bored over there. It's 14 below zero every day in Moscow. He goes, let's have a little fun with Ukraine. We'll take one of their boats. That's what he is. He's a provocateur. So Trump can't handle him because Trump's got nothing over him. And Trump was smart not to meet with him. And, if Trump had his way, he wouldn't meet with anybody. He wouldn't even go there. He doesn't even know where it is. I mean, come on.
Last topic, the border. Your
Yes.
thoughts over the week?
Well, we've done some excellent reporting on BillO'Reilly.com tracing the big money that's come from Washington to Chicago to Tegucigalpa, Honduras, to fund this whole ruse, R-U-S-E. And the reason
we
it's a
don't
ruse
ever
is
look those
because
up.
this is a very well orchestrated, organized, and funded campaign to break the U.S. asylum system. Break it down, break the border, have open borders. And if you go to BillO'Reilly.com, we've listed all the agencies, all the people running the agencies. Gee, George Soros, oh, wow, in the past has get a lot of money to these organizations. So that's what this is. You don't have 6,000 people in Mexico City get on buses and drive to Tijuana unless you have millions of dollars to charter those buses. So it's all ruse. But the real thing is, why on earth does the U.S. media ignore the real story here? I mean, what do you idiots in Black Rock and Manhattan want open borders? Is that what you want in Hollywood? Is that what you really want? Because that's what you're playing into. I mean, I'm now thinking that the people running the media agencies, Beck, with the exceptions of you and me, are just stone cold stupid people. We know they're corrupt, but now I'm thinking you guys are just stupid. This is so horrible for the country. The perspective of open borders and chaos on our border with Mexico, the narcotics that you talked about at the beginning of the hour coming across that. Where do you think the fentanyl is coming from? Mexico.
So,
okay,
Bill. So wait.
It's annoying me, Stu.
So I think spell it out so we can look it up. Bill, I agree with you that they're just blind, and it may be blind stupid on several things. But when I think that the press has, done what Fonzie did, in 1976, and jumped the shark. I think that they've now entered into a room where they are literally asking us to deny what our eyes can see, and also deny to look at what was happening.
The crusher was for the press. that they showed these pictures of the tear gas with the kids and the mothers, right? And they went wild, did they not?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden the next day, President Obama used tear gas 500 times on the border during his 8 years.
No, 1,600. 1,600.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 1,600.
So did you hear a word of that?
No.
A word of it in the New York Times, Washington Post. And so you're right. Americans go, you know what? We're not believing anything you say now because you don't deserve to be believed. And that helps Mercury, Glenn Beck, Bill O'Reilly, BillO'Reilly.com, because people go, you know what? We're going to look for something that we could at least have a semblance of trust in, not you. I know.
Bill O'Reilly.
So brilliant. That analysis.
I know.
It was speechless. No, it was beautiful.
Speechless.
We just
Brilliance
couldn't.
Always leads to speechlessness.
It's really it's quite amazing. Your performance.
Thank you.
Every
I want
week
everybody to
right
go
here.
see Beck and Stu tonight playing the cello. It's going to be just a blast. I want everybody.
I've written a song
in
about
Florida.
you.
Yeah,
Right.
he's written a song about you.
Yes.
See that.
Yeah. All right. Bill,
right,
great
Beck.
to have you. BillO'Reilly.com, and Killing the SS is his latest best-selling book, which is really, truly tremendous if you're a history lover or you really just want to delve in and know the truth about some of the things that even the United States did in World War II with Killing the SS. Bill O'Reilly's book is tremendous. Thanks so much, Bill. Talk to you soon.
Okay, guys. See you soon.
All right.
Bye.